Hey there, how's it going? This is Tequisquiapan, a really cool little town here in central Mexico. They're blasting some 80s music at that shoe store there, Zapato. I'm going to walk out this way, away from the center of town, where it will be a little bit quieter to record this video. And so this is on the subject of, is it safe to travel in Mexico? A very important topic, and definitely one that people have a lot of misconceptions about, as well as legitimate concerns. And so I don't want to whitewash this and say, oh, it's all hunky-dory and perfectly fine and there's nothing to worry about and just la-di-da and walk around and don't think about any safety concerns, because that is not a accurate way to approach traveling in Mexico. All right, I'm going to walk down that way right there. I have no idea where that goes, but one good way to find out. And so I wanted to start off with a few facts here, which is that 5 of the most dangerous cities in the world are in Mexico. 5 of the top 10 most dangerous cities in the world. And so that isn't a great record to start off with. Also, if you look at the list of most dangerous countries in the world, Mexico is number 24 out of 163 countries listed. I will put links down below this video to the article that lists both the most dangerous cities in the world and all of the countries of the world, or at least 163 of the countries that were included in this list, ranked, that has Mexico at number 24. And so, in other words, only 23 other countries in the world are more dangerous than Mexico. But one thing to keep in mind is that the United States, which is where I'm from, does not do a whole lot better. A bit more safe overall on that list of countries, most dangerous countries, then the United States is at number 43. Still, that's not great out of 163 countries included. The safest country on the list is Iceland, also the most expensive, at least in my experience. And so I think there is a big misunderstanding about the overall situation, as if all of Mexico is plagued by drug violence and gangs and random violence and the kind of stuff that you see in the news, because these incidents do in fact happen, but they happen in the US as well far too often. They happen many different places around the world too often, but that doesn't mean that it is unsafe to go to that particular country or city or whatever. Most of the problems tend to be concentrated in specific areas, certain cities, certain neighborhoods of those cities, whereas most of Mexico is really quite safe to explore and walk around and travel. And as you've seen in my videos over the past 3 weeks that I've been exploring this part of Mexico, I've gone to remote beaches, I've gone to towns where there were hardly any other foreign tourists. I just walk around the towns and check out certain neighborhoods, and obviously if somewhere feels particularly sketchy, unsafe, whatever, then turn around and go back the other way and go somewhere else in that town that feels better. Wow, look at this beautiful, very green water. Hola.
Hola.
Now, on that list of most dangerous cities in the world, there are actually 4 US cities in the top 50. Top 50 most dangerous cities in the world, and the United States has 4. St. Louis, Missouri is number 13. The 13th most dangerous city in the world, St. Louis, Missouri. I never would have thought that. It never would have occurred to me, don't go to St. Louis, it's dangerous there. Something bad is necessarily going to happen if you go to St. Louis. And so there's a just kind of general misunderstanding that because there have been incidents in certain places, because there are certain neighborhoods and certain cities that are dangerous, then don't go to that city. Don't even go to that country, because the whole place is unsafe, and that simply is not the case. This is my second time to Mexico. I have spent more than 2 months, about 2.5 months altogether, traveling around Mexico, seeing a lot of different parts of the country. And I have yet to see any incident of crime. I haven't been robbed, I haven't been attacked, mugged, even approached by people, you know, wanting to start a fight or anything like that. 2.5 months of traveling in this country. And no problems, haven't seen any problems happen to anyone else either. And so Mexico is not a place to avoid because it is unsafe throughout the country. It is certainly a good idea to keep in mind certain neighborhoods, certain cities, be aware, use common sense, use your street smarts, feel out situations, and if something doesn't feel right, then get out of there. But if you're just to go on what you see in the news about the United States, you're sitting in some other country somewhere, never been to the US, and you see these various incidents that happen in the US, then you might think, oh, that place is dangerous, don't go there. There's all kinds of bad things happening all over the place. And meanwhile, then people are living their normal lives, oblivious for the most part to a lot of these things that are happening. They are isolated incidents, concentrated in certain places at certain times. And so the fact that, you know, something bad happened in the US somewhere does not mean that it is dangerous throughout the country, that it is all, you know, chaos and craziness and some sort of war zone, obviously. And it is just the same in Mexico, that throughout most of the towns, little villages, cities of Mexico, then you can explore and visit and experience the country and all that it has to offer, which is a hell of a lot. It is truly a underrated country, in my opinion, with so much to see, so unique, amazing food, people, landscapes, beaches, mountains, deserts, modern cities, and relatively cheap compared to the US. And so if you're, you know, in a adventurous mood, then it is a super awesome country to explore. You can also just go to the beach resorts and have a nice vacation, do the package tourist thing, or the all-inclusive resort kind of a deal, if that's more your style. But as far as getting off of those tourist you know, spots and exploring the real Mexico, so to speak, then it is safer than people tend to think. So I will finish this video walking into the main square that I showed in the last video, but give a little more of a taste of Tequisquiapan, this really nice, pleasant, peaceful, seems quite safe Mexican city. So up ahead is the main plaza. You got people making music, hanging out. Families, kids. And these plazas like this are throughout the country of Mexico. It's such an amazing thing. Very different from the US. In most towns and cities, then you have these old churches with a plaza and fountains and parks, and people congregate here and hang out and have a nice time. And it's a, you know, mixed scene of families, men and women, children, old and young, etc.
No soy hombre malo, cuando por esto
A lot of nice looking restaurants right here. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Tomorrow I hop on a bus heading for Mexico City. See ya.